Okay, so Apple this year has taken the Mac Mini to new heights, or should I say new lows. Because just starting at $599 together with M4 and support for Apple Intelligence, this device is, in my opinion, the best value Mac you can get. Yo, what's up guys? Niels, also known as AppleDsign, and today I'd like to talk with you about the new M4 Mac Mini. But before going into more detail about what this tiny beast has to offer, let's see what we get inside the box. So right here I have the fully spec'd M4 Pro Mac Mini, and there's also a base M4 model. And when we look at the design, there are no outside differences. This is the smallest Mac design we've ever seen, coming in at 5 by 5 inches. And despite its reduced size, it stands a little bit taller at 2 inches, featuring a new innovative thermal architecture design on the bottom to improve its cooling. Important to note though, if we have a close look at the bottom as well, the power button has now been placed on the bottom of the device, whereas with the Mac Studio it was placed in the back here, somewhere around there. And it's just crazy how the internet is reacting to that. I've seen people making 3D printed designs or tools so that you can access the power button from the top. But nevertheless, I think it's important to note that compared to its predecessor, the M2 Mac Mini, this design is so much smaller. I would actually call this a Mac Studio Mini because it's more or less the same design as the Mac Studio, but just in a smaller form factor. At the heart of the new M4 Mac Mini obviously is the M4 chip, now coming in with 10 CPU cores, from which 4 are performance cores and 6 are high efficiency cores, together with a 10 core GPU for all these graphic intensive tasks. It delivers up to 1.8 faster speeds when it comes to the CPU and 2.2 faster speeds when it comes to the GPU performance compared to the M1 Mac Mini. And what's great now is that Apple has increased the base RAM, so the unified memory, to 16 gigabytes. And I think the main reason for this is to support Apple Intelligence. I think from now on, all the Macs will come with base 16 gigabytes of unified memory to support Apple Intelligence, which, to be honest, is something really normal these days, to have like at least 16 gigs of RAM on your Mac. The M4 Pro variant of the Mac Mini has a 12-core CPU and a 16-core GPU, which you can upgrade to respectively a 14-core CPU and a 20-core GPU model. Apple has completely revamped the ports on the new Mac Mini compared to the previous model. On the front, we now have a 2 USB-C Thunderbolt ports and the 3.5mm headphone jack. And if we have a close look at the back, we have our power input. Then we have a Ethernet port, which you can upgrade to 10 gigabits if that's something you want. Next to that, we have an HDMI port, and next to that, we have 3 Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports, and these are Thunderbolt 5 ports if you upgrade to the M4 Pro Mac Mini. When it comes to displays, the M4 base model Mac Mini can support up to 2 external displays, one with a resolution of 6K and a 60Hz refresh rate, and another 5K resolution display coming in at 60Hz over Thunderbolt, or a 4K 60Hz display through HDMI. On the other hand, the M4 Pro model steps up the display game significantly because you can connect up to 3 displays here, including a 8K display with a 60Hz refresh rate, or a 4K resolution display with a 240Hz refresh rate through HDMI. Alright, right, now let's talk about the pricing of this Mac Mini, because I believe that's one of the most interesting parts of this device. The base M4 Mac Mini with 256 gigabytes of RAM comes in at $599 US, which I believe is an absolute steal. But if we're going towards the M4 Pro Mac Mini, things are about to change a bit more, because that base model with 512 gigabytes of storage starts at $1,399 US. And if you want to have the absolute max spec'd out Mac Mini, you have to put down $4,699 US. However, this will get you 64 gigabytes of unified memory and 8 terabytes of SSD storage. Also important to note about this new Mac Mini is that it's Apple's first Mac to be 100% carbon neutral. So it's the second product of Apple that is 100% carbon neutral. The first product was the Apple Watch, and now we have the Mac Mini as well. I'm really excited about that, and I can't wait for other products to join that label as well. So who should upgrade to the new Mac Mini with M4? If you're coming from an Intel-based Mac Mini, then 100%. You should upgrade to this new Mac Mini. Its form factor is amazing. Its performance with M4 is great. Support for Apple Intelligence as well. Next up, if you have a M1 Mac Mini, that's for me the point that you need to decide for yourself. How is your current experience with your Mac Mini? How is your setup? Do you like maybe the bigger design, or do you prefer the smaller design? Do you value Apple Intelligence a lot? Is that something you'd like to try out? Then you should upgrade. But if you're still satisfied with your M1 Mac Mini, you can just keep it for a year or two. And then lastly, if you have the M2 Mac Mini, in my opinion, it's not worth the upgrades. I hope this was helpful. I'm curious to know, what do you think about the new Mac Mini? What do you think about its size? What do you think about the performance? What do you think about Apple Intelligence on this device? Please make sure to share that in the comments below. Also, hit the thumbs up button if you like this video, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Peace.